Welcome to another episode of Demystifying Research. My name is Okpeyemi, and this is Okpe's Community. Today, I want to talk about how to identify a research gap. I know you're wondering, what is a research gap? A research gap can be defined as a problem or question that has not been solved in a study. You might see me looking down from time to time, and that's because, I have some information here that I have packaged for this video. And so, you would say that it's an area where existing knowledge falls short. And the first step to identify a research gap is to go through existing literatures, review existing literatures. You have to read as a student, as a researcher, when you're looking for that research gap. There are three types of research gap, and you have the theoretical gap, you have the empirical gap, and you have the methodological gap. What is a theoretical gap? A theoretical gap occurs where a research doesn't meet up to existing theories. It happens when the existing ideas or explanations in a field are not clear or they are not complete. And so you have new research challenges that it's challenging these old theories. This is because the current theories doesn't fully explain a scenario or a situation. And more work is needed to improve on this, to develop better explanations as to why we have certain situations. And then we have the empirical gap. When we talk about empirical gap, you find out that there are not enough real life data or research on a topic. And what does this mean? It means that more studies, more observations and experiments need to be carried out in relation to that study that doesn't show enough real life or realistic, data. So we need all this to confirm what we already know. We need more experiments. We need more observations. We need more, studies to confirm what we already know on this topic or discover new insights. And then we have methodological gap. Now, methodological gap says that the research method in existing studies, they are insufficient to answer a question. The research method on previous studies are not sufficient to answer a particular question or solve a particular problem. And this happens when you have outdated methods, or where the methods are not detailed enough, or they are not even the best fit for the topic. So sometimes one needs new or improved methods to get better results, or to explore things in a way that past studies couldn't explore. And so these are all types of research gaps. So what does it tell you when you want to identify a gap in a study? You could look out for methodological gap, you could look out for theoretical gap, and you could look out for empirical gaps. Now, I just want to give 3 ways to identify research gaps. Or rather, I want to give out some points on how you could look out for research gap in a study. You might pick up an article and go through, and you're wondering, where's the research gap in this study? Do you know that one important way to find the research gap in that study is to look at the recommendation of that study? Oftentimes, you see studies that make recommendations for the future. They'll make recommendations for future research. They'll emphasize areas of work or studies that they think need to be done or should be carried out in future. That's a research gap. Another way is to search for inadequate studies in a particular field. It could be that not enough studies have been carried out in a geographical location, or there is not enough information in a particular field. So that's another research gap in a study. You could also look for areas where the studies can be improved. Like I talked about methodological gaps and theoretical gaps. You look for ways where the theory can be improved upon, or the methodology that is used to explain a particular scenario can be improved upon. These are ways to identify research gaps. And you can also look for a way to identify limitations in other studies. It's still connected to the types of research gaps that are explained. What are the limitations in this study? Oh, this particular study was not detailed enough about the method they used. Or no, this particular model or theory that this study used is not actually appropriate for this topic. And then you you know come up with the research gap in that particular study for your research. And these are just the basic ways to find out, identify research gap in a study. One important tip to note is that you must read and review existing literatures. I hope you found this information useful. If you did find it useful, please click on the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel and refer a friend. You can even refer your students to this channel. Thanks for watching and bye for now.